Are you gentlemen? All your base are belong to us. You have no chance to survive with your time. Ha ha ha.
And many more in the book. A Winner Is You. From All Your Base Belong to Us, This Guy Are Sick, and Mad Skills, baby. So prepare to laugh and cringe at some of the funniest and most horrible video game quotes that ever graced the silver screen. Available now on BattleGeekPlus.com. Big thanks to Geekdom 101 for this advertisement.
So just a few days ago, I dropped a video here on this channel, and it was called Dragon Ball Heroes' Biggest Mistake. And that was specifically focused on this promotional anime, not the video games or anything like that, just on this anime and what I felt was the biggest problem with it. And after watching Dragon Ball Heroes promo anime episode 5, this problem reared its head once again, and it really brought everything into perspective even further than before about what the main issue is with Dragon Ball Heroes and why I think so many people have tuned out. Now, obviously, this is a promotional anime. And before I go any further, yes, this review will be longer in the episode, which shouldn't really be hard because it's like 7 minutes this time. So, yes, Dragon Ball Heroes promo anime is a promotional anime. And I think that a lot of us, if you go into this thing knowing what it is, it's somehow easier to digest, but it doesn't make it good. Grading it on a curve does not necessarily make it good. And what I mean by that, when I say that, what I mean is this. The way that this is supposed to work, and the reason why so many people just don't care, no matter how fan servicey it is that the way it's supposed to work is you watch this anime, you're supposed to get hyped to go to the arcade and play the Dragon Ball Heroes arcade game. That's how it works. That's what it's supposed to do, is you watch it, you get hyped, you go down to the arcade to play the game, and so on and so forth. That's what it's supposed to do, is get us hyped for the game. And I sat back today after watching Heroes Episode 5, and I actually decided to put myself in the position of somebody who's in Japan, and I said to myself, I said, does this Heroes promotional anime do its job right? Which is, does it get me hyped up to play a game? Now, obviously, I cannot play that game because I don't live in Japan. Most of you guys don't live in Japan. And as of right now, as of this video, we don't have Heroes outside of Japan. Obviously, the Switch game might be coming. There's rumors here and there. But right now, we don't have it. So I thought about it. I said, does this get me hyped to watch or to play the game? Or would it? Would it get me hyped? And the answer is no. And I'll tell you why. Number one, if it's Dragon Ball, and I'm already a Dragon Ball fan, I'm going to at least try out the game. And number two, if the game is crap, I won't play it. I'll try it, I'll say not for me, and I'll move on. And I feel like by now, as a fan, somebody in Japan should know whether or not they care about the Prison Planet arc. We are now 5 episodes in to Dragon Ball Heroes promo anime, and we're seeing the same problems come up again and again and again. And the problem to me, and there's various. You know, I've seen a lot of y'all's comments about what you don't like about Heroes, and a lot of it, and most of it has nothing to do with canon, thank God. Because that's just, disliking something because it's non-canon or whatever is just completely hypocritical and kind of stupid, to be honest with you. That's not really what it is. The majority of y'all have said that it's not that interesting and that they haven't done a good job of making it interesting. And I can't disagree more after watching this episode. So the big hype job for episode 5 was Cumber was able to turn to a great ape, and he fought Vegito Blue, and all that stuff happened. Few showed up. Few cuts off his tail. He ends up shrinking down again. And the big hype for this episode is Super Saiyan 4 Vegito appearing for the very first time. Now, Dragon Ball Heroes is supposed to be fun fan service. I don't care if you're watching the anime, reading the manga, or playing one of the video games. It's supposed to be fun fan service. You're not supposed to take it seriously. You're not supposed to go on social media and complain how it's not as good as Super or any of that stuff, because it's not trying to be. But this episode really proved that no matter how many comparisons you make to Super, Z, GT, or other video games, Dragon Ball Heroes' major problem is that it never delivers and that it's incredibly, incredibly boring. This episode featured the first Super Saiyan 4 Vegito ever. That was their main selling point. That was their main hype job. And even as a fan of Dragon Ball, if I put myself in the spot of somebody who could play a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, my big question is, why would I care? Why would I even care? And it feels like every episode, there's like a different gimmick to get you hooked. And then what happens is they don't deliver on it. Now, I'm not going to talk about like the art direction and the animation here. A lot of folks have criticized it. And yes, at times it does look very subpar. It looks like the 1 minute promos that you see for Dragon Ball Heroes, but extended out longer and cheaper. And it doesn't even feel that interesting. Not just the animation, not Yamamuro, like so many people have complained about, rightfully so in this case. It's more so that the way things are executed in the series, it just doesn't feel like a grandiose big deal. When Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta Zeno fuse to make Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, there's like no fanfare. They just combine, then there's an explosion, and there's Vegito, and there was nothing interesting about the scene at all. Like there was no cool music, there was no cool build up. Then they just start fighting. And that's it. They just start fighting. And the fight is boring. The fight's repetitive. It's just a bunch of, hand-to-hand moves and a key beam and a beam struggle. That's it. There's nothing cool about it. There's no exciting sequences here. There's no, anything with the environments. None of that. None of it. If you want a better version of this story, you have to read the manga. I'm telling you now, the Dragon Ball Heroes promotional anime drops the ball so badly with this episode, in my opinion. And I know that others, if you like it, that's fine. I mean, I don't hate it necessarily. I just feel like it dropped the ball. You know what I mean? I don't despise it. It's just that it was a big letdown because you're seeing this big, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. He pops in for the first time. Because what ends up happening is Goku Super Saiyan God is fighting Cumber, and Cumber starts to beat him, which should be obvious because Cumber's stronger than freaking Vegito in some cases here, depending on what form he's in. And then what ends up happening is, Fuse starts freaking out because his laboratory is getting smashed, and he doesn't even know what's going on. He doesn't know who did it or how it happened. And then what ends up happening is Goku and Vegeta are about to get killed by Cumber, and then Goku and Vegeta Zeno show up. Mai does explain that these are alternate reality versions of Goku and Vegeta from the Time Patrol. So at least they explain that, which we all knew. I mean, I did a video on it, and I talked about it several times to how the Zeno characters work. So we actually see Cumber go Super Saiyan 3, which we've seen before, but now we actually see it. And he fights Goku and Vegeta Zeno. What ends up happening is they fuse and they make Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, and it felt like a fart in the wind. Like it didn't even mean anything. And then they start fighting. They have a Kamehameha beam struggle, and because of all of this, the chains on the planet break apart again. And then Vegito splits back into being Goku and Vegeta. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching this and I'm saying to myself, what was the point? What was the point? This felt so much like a rehash of the first episode and the second episode, where you have a fusion and then it just runs out and then, we're back to square one again. Stories are supposed to have progression, point A to point B. When watching this promo anime, it's like point A to point B, then back to point A again, or a lateral movement, point A to point A. Nothing ever actually happens. Like, we're seeing few power up, we're seeing different things that are teasing things for the future, and I could care less. And I do think it's because of the direction and because of the fact that it's just running on fumes. This whole thing's like a hamster wheel. It's just the same thing over and over again. So Fu shows up, he's mad, Zeno Goku and Zeno Vegeta want to get at Fu. Fu basically, is squaring off against Time Patrol Goku and Time Patrol Vegeta. Meanwhile, Goku's off on the sidelines twitching, about to obviously go into Ultra Instinct, which is going to be the next big hook for you to watch Heroes. Hey guys, we got Vegito Blue Kaioken. Hey guys, we got Golden Cooler. Hey guys, we got Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. Hey guys, we got Ultra Instinct again. You like Ultra Instinct, right? Here's Ultra Instinct. And that's great, except that when you watch it, you don't even get a good fight. Like, you don't get nothing. There's nothing to where when you watch this promo anime, it doesn't make you want to play the game. It doesn't make you want to watch more of it. It just keeps being a letdown. And that's what I said in my video about Hero's biggest mistake, is that you hype up this big event, this crossover, which could have been a much bigger deal than it was, even outside of Japan, and you deliver a crap fight, and now here we go again, and it was just boring, and it meant nothing. It means nothing. What's the point of getting hyped over a fusion if they're going to defuse anyways? You see what I'm saying? And then Fuse shows up, and he's the real alpha dog, and then we're going to get Ultra Instinct. It's like, it's a bad way to try to keep people coming back. Like, the idea behind this is that it's supposed to be, you know, a fun little promo. You're not supposed to overthink it, right? You're not supposed to, you know, put too much emotion into it. But I just find myself to be extra bored at this point. And I've given it a chance. And another reason as to why I'm so harsh on it this time is because of how much better the manga is. The manga, not only are the fights actually better, like, you know, and that's not even the best artist they have. Zeno Goku versus Super Goku was great. You know, the Vegito fight I thought was really good. And there's even an extra subplot where you have Trunks and Cooler teaming up to fight enemies of the past, like these smoke versions of them. And you've even got stuff like other people like Bojack showing up. You've got, you know, Ozato. You've got King Cold. You've got all these characters showing up from the past, and they're fighting each other. And it's like, okay, this is real fan service. Like, you know, you're bringing back old characters to give me fan service, but you're actually delivering on the fan service and giving us a cool little subplot. There's not much to it except for find the Dragon Balls, but they've completely ignored the Dragon Balls in the anime version. It's just about who can beat Cumber. And to me, Cumber's become incredibly boring. I mean, Cumber at one time was interesting because he was supposedly some mystery Saiyan that somehow knew about Super Saiyan God. There's no follow-up to that here. He just somehow is maybe triggered by Super Saiyan God, and there's been all these theories about the Yamoshi stuff, and that could be possible, but there's nothing that makes the character interesting anymore. You know, we've seen him use his Uzaru form. He got cut down. Now he's doing Super Saiyan 3. You know, it's just not really... Again, I don't hate it. It's just not interesting to me. Like, this is going in circles now at this point. We are literally going in circles. Super Vegito Blue, Vegito 4. It's like the same thing over and over again. And this episode legit felt like a waste of time. If they would have had Super Saiyan 4 Vegito at least inflict some kind of real damage on Cumber, like really, really make it seem like it was a real thing, I would have been way more invested, because that means that there's something going on. Plus, like I said before, Zeno, Vegeta, and Goku are way stronger than the GT versions. Way, way, way stronger. And yet, still, like, we're back to Fuse showing up and Goku going Ultra Instinct. So, again, I'm still going to probably watch it to see where it goes. It's new Dragon Ball animation. It's not very good animation, but it's still good. And it's just, to me, I don't know how anybody could care. And I'm talking about the Prison Planet arc, the anime version. The manga's fine. The Demon Realm storylines from Heroes are okay. All the other stuff is okay. That's all fine. It's all well and good. It's just the anime. These 5 episodes of the Prison Planet arc are so underwhelming and pointless that I can't blame anyone for not caring. But again, I will continue to cover it because, hey, it might get better. And as a Dragon Ball fan, as a guy who covers Dragon Ball on YouTube, I kind of have to. I'm not just going to ignore it. You know, I want to at least give you guys my opinion. It's usually only about 8 minutes anyways, which the review is longer than because I have a lot to say on it. But still, you know, I'm going to cover it, but I don't really enjoy it. And I really was hoping it would be a little bit better. And again, some people are going to say, well, if it was longer, it'd be better. And that's possible. That is possible, but I don't care if it's 30 minutes and you get a little bit of a better fight. The story is just running in circles at this point. So let me know in the comments, did you like this episode? Do you care? What do you think they could do to make it more interesting? Do you think they could just slow things down and maybe have fights go on for a longer period of time? They really can't do that because they have to get these episodes out to promote the new game updates, right? So we can't have Vegito 4 against Cumber for like 5 or 6 episodes because it'll be like February by then. This is only once a month or once every few weeks. So we really can't do it that way. You know, they have to get this in and out, and it just feels like that, bro. It feels like in and out. Dragon Ball Heroes, the promotional anime, is to me synonymous with that one girl who you try for weeks and months to hook up with. You really like her, you want her real bad. Then when you finally get her and you're together, you get laid and you realize that she's not very good at it and that her breath stinks and that she doesn't have very good hygiene. That's pretty much what this is. Dragon Ball Heroes is a nice package on the outside, but when you peel away the clothing, it ends up being a disappointing lay that you feel like you shouldn't have wasted your emotions on getting hype for. You know, and I'm not saying I got that hype for it, but I can kind of see why people dropped it. It's just the same, and it's fan service, and it just proves that sometimes even fanboys don't care about fan service if it's boring.